Faction Warfare got a massive update in the recent expansion EVE Havoc, and if you clicked on this video, it's because you want to fight for the Empire and push back those filthy pirates. Now we're going to go into how exactly you can find the sites, some fits you can use, and the strategies you need to be able to PvP correctly. So if you want to absolutely dominate the Faction Warfare field in EVE Online, you came to the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Loru here, digital advertiser, content creator, and EVE enjoyer for the better part of 10 years now. And here she is, Federation Navy Comet. We're going to get into this ship in just a moment. Now, you're going to use this video as a one-stop shop for all things Faction Warfare. I want you to bookmark this video and use the chapters that we have in the description to be sure that you can get exactly the information that you need. And the first thing I want to talk about is why the heck should you care about all this stuff? Well, in addition to being able to stomp fellow Capsuleers and claim a certain area of space as your own, there's also quite some lucrative stuff to be gained. The main thing you're going to get out of this is loyalty points. You can use the loyalty points to make you some serious ISK. So what's better than dominating your opponents? Getting paid to do it at the same time. We are going to show you how to do this solo, but I highly recommend that you get a group going with this. How you can do that is head over to your activity tab, agency. Once you're in the agency tab, you go to the fleet up section. And if you're close to a Faction Warfare area, there's going to be some fleets ready for you. If you're a new player, you can check this new friendly player option to be sure that you're flying with a fleet that's understanding the fact that you're new to New Eden. We're going to go into how to find Faction Warfare spots later in the video, so stay tuned for that. The only thing I'll caution you here is make sure you register for the proper fleet. If you side with Caldari, don't register for a Galente fleet. They're going to come take you out. And speaking of picking the right side, here's how you can register for Faction Warfare. You go to Activities, you click the Faction Warfare tab, and your screen's probably going to look a little bit different than mine when you open it for the first time. You're probably going to get something like this. Now is when decisions have to be made. Since you clicked on this video, you're going to choose to defend your empire. Now, Caldari are at war with the Galente, and the Minmatar is at war with Amar. And we're in Caldari space, so we're just going to pick Caldari. And if you ever forget who's at war with who, just come to this screen right here, mouse over these down here, and they'll be able to show you at war with Galente, at war with the Garistas pirates. Easy peasy. Now from here, we're going to press Enlist Me. And before you click this, understand, joining the Faction Warfare Militia is actually akin to flagging in most MMOs. You'll be PvP enabled more so than normal inside of EVE Online. When I enlist in the Caldari State Faction Warfare here, I'm going to be at war with the Galente no matter what system I'm in. So if I go into Galente high-sec space, Galente NPCs are going to come hunt me down. So before you enlist in whatever empire you would like to, just be sure you're going to steer clear of the enemy high-sec for a little bit of time. It's also worth noting you can un-enlist yourself, essentially turning off that PvP flag, whatever you would like. But there is a cooldown to when you can re-enlist. It's about a 24-hour period. So choose wisely, and let's get ourselves enlisted, shall we? Now that we're a part of the Caldari Militia, we get to see this map right here. And this is a PvP-enabled map of the base EVE map that you're used to. Instead of just seeing a bunch of star systems, you're going to see some actionable information. Now, there's three types of systems in Faction Warfare. There's the frontline systems, command ops systems, and then rear guard systems. The frontline sites are where the bulk of the battles are happening, and it's also where you can get the most loyalty points. Higher risk, higher reward. The command ops systems get you normal amounts of loyalty points, and there's a decent amount of conflict, not as much as frontlines. And then finally, the rear guard is the safest. Just remember,
you are never safe in EVE.
Even though the rear guard is safer than the front lines, there's still plenty of conflict. Because there's less action happening, you get the least amount of loyalty point possible. If you're a solo player, I recommend going to the rear guard areas. There's a couple other symbols on this map too. This is the Shipcaster system for the Caldari, and if I click this one here, we can see where the Shipcaster is for the Galente Federation. If you want to see how far away you are from these Shipcasters, you can come into this window, right-click, set destination. You're going to see my route updated right here. What the Shipcasters are for is for helping you to get back to the front lines as soon as you can. This way, you don't have to navigate through super dangerous areas of space just to get back to where you were. They're teleporters that get you back into the action right now. We're going to navigate to one in just a sec, and you can see where they're pushing people to. Now, there's two more things we want to show you on this map. This is a battlefield symbol. This is where there's a big battle happening right now. So if you use the fleet up section of the agency tab that I was showing you before, around these systems, there's going to be fleets that you can go join. Now, the final symbol on here is this. It's a little arrow pointing up like right here, and this is the Garista Pirates FOB. This is the start of the Insurgency and the brand new piece of Faction Warfare that came with the new expansion EVE Havoc. The new stuff's good, y'all. Now you can check out what the heck this means by coming down here and clicking this button. This is going to open the Insurgency tab. You can also get to this by going to the activity section of your Neocom and going down to Insurgencies. That's the one right below Faction Warfare. And this is not something you should ignore or sleep on if you're fighting for the Empire. You can see that this pirate FOB is deep in Galente space for now, but that doesn't mean that the Caldaris are immune to their effects. We're going to have an absolutely detailed guide of the corruption and the suppression and all the insurgency things in our pirate faction faction warfare video. That's coming out right after this, so make sure you check that out if you want all the deep guides here. But to give you a nice little summation, you are going to be fighting Galente pilots and pilots that have allied themselves with the Garistas pirates. In the Insurgency window, you're going to see systems that are corrupted. These systems are going to have sites that are not just faction warfare focused, but pirate faction warfare focused. The more the pirates are winning, the more corruption happens. The more the Empire is winning, the more suppression happens. Now, there's a bunch of different effects that happen depending on if it's corruption or suppression. Let's start with the suppression, because that's the things that you're mainly going to be affecting. How you can build up suppression is by doing faction warfare sites in the corrupted areas listed here. Once you fulfill stage 1 suppression, you and everybody else that's fighting for the Empire are going to get increased pirate bounties in those areas, as well as increased security gains for killing those various mobs. This also applies when you kill pilots that are aligned to the various pirate factions. You keep pushing the suppression up and you're going to hit stage 2. Now you're going to get increased bounties from killing the various NPCs. You're going to get more security gain status and more LP. There's more levels to this, but you can already see why this is something you shouldn't ignore. You're encouraged to go after these as a militia fighter, not just if you've allied yourself with the pirate factions. The big one is level 5. Once you reach maximum suppression, you're essentially putting down the pirate menace, and big, powerful NPCs are going to spawn that will target the Capsuleers that are aligned with the pirates. You get a bunch of range to your PvP modules if you're allied to Empire militia. Big security guns spawn that are going to pop anybody that's allied with pirate factions. So to sum this up, if you get your suppression to the maximum threshold as an Empire militia pilot, you are going to get more money, more security gain, more loyalty points, make it more difficult for the pirates to do anything, get a bunch of mobs helping you out, and you can fight other players easier. There's even more perks to this, so you have a choice to make if you're allied yourself with the Empire militia. Do you go after the front lines and stop the Galente military, or do you go check out the ones that are being corrupted by the pirates so that you can stop their insurgency spread and get some extra loot? And yes, I said insurgency spread, because one of the big important things to understand about insurgencies is that these can spread from low sec to low sec to high sec. Yes, the pirate corruption can spread to high sec. Corruption gets pretty crazy pretty fast. With that stage 2 corruption, pirate NPCs are going to start warping around and targeting people. At stage 3 corruption, the insurgency begins spreading to other areas adjacent to that system, meaning if Albanel here gets to rank 3 corruption, the pirate insurgency is going to spread to this adjacent system here that I cannot pronounce, y'all. If left unchecked, the pirate insurgency will spread into high sec, infecting all these areas. So it is not something you can just ignore. It's pretty cool. Now, there is areas of high sec that are totally safe. 0.8 systems and above cannot be corrupted. That's like not a lot of known space. So this is pretty cool and something you shouldn't ignore if you're an Empire militia. All right, that's enough map reading for now. Let's talk about what you're going to be able to fly. Now, this is a lot of information right now, I know. You need to understand how the PvP works in EVE Online if you're going to be able to really capitalize on all this. Your opponents will definitely be able to use all the information they can to squeeze as much value that they can out of this. So there's certain kind of complexes and combat hubs that you can go into. And if you're going to use the fit that we're going to feature later in this video, you're going to focus on the scout complex types. We're going to show you live examples of this in just a sec, but just for your information, scout complexes can only have frigates in them. Small complexes can have destroyers and below. Medium complexes can have cruisers and below. And large complexes are the big boy ships. And open is literally everything. An important note, T3 destroyers can do the mediums and below. T3 cruisers can do large sites and below. I know those are some crappy arrows, chat, just bear with me. You can still take your jackdaw to these sites, but you won't be able to go in the site and get the loyalty points from them. You can fight outside the sites. But that's not exactly worth your time, is it? I wish I could take my Proteus into these, but it's just not going to happen. There's 2 more things you have to understand about these complexes before we show you live examples. You're going to see this Navy here and Advanced right here. These actually mean something that you have to understand. So the Navy sites you can only bring Tech 1 or Empire Militia ships into. We're flying a Comet. If I come over here, in the Navy sites you can only take these and these. You cannot take Tech 2s. You cannot take Pirate Navy ships in. If the site has NVY, you can only take these in. Now you can take Caldari, Amar, Mimitar, Galente, don't matter, as long as they're Navy or Tech 1 frigates, into the NVY sites. Now the ADV sites, the advanced sites, you can take all this in addition to the Tech 2s and all the Pirate faction ships. So just read, the Navy sites are going to be for newer players or people flying not as good ships, and the advanced sites, the ADV sites, are going to be everybody running Tech 2s, pirate ships, all the big stuff. So if you're new, what I recommend you do is you take the fit we're going to show you in just a sec and head down to some of the rear guard sites and look for the scout and the small Navy sites. Practice there, get a feel for stuff before you start heading to the ADV sites. Now, if the site's empty, if there's nobody on D-scan, we're going to get to how to use the D-scan. You can check out these sites, just be wary. Stuff can and will pop on top of you. The last thing we have to talk about are these numbers here, the 1 and the 5s and all that. The 1 means that one player is going to get LP rewards once they finish a site, and the 5 means that up to 5 players are going to get rewards LP for finishing the site. Because if you get a gang of 3 or 4 people and head into one of these sites, only one of you is going to get the LP. It's kind of a waste of time. I literally took a post-it note and put it in front of me to write all the stuff down. I recommend you do the same and or bookmark this video. Now let's get into the fit that we're going to be using. And spoilers, by the end of this video, you're going to be able to win this fit. So if you're brand new to Faction Warfare, make sure that you stick around. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Federation Navy Comet. And even though I signed up against the Galente, I am a Galente boy. And we typically fly a lot of Galente ships here. Now I recommend the Comet as a really solid first ship for Faction Warfare. Not for day 1s or even month 1 players, but something you can aspire to and still hold your own. If you're a newer player, it's going to be a little bit expensive for you to get into, 30 million. We have a bunch of Abyss guides for you, specifically for alphas and new players. So definitely go check that out. Videos just popped up in the corner there for you. That'll help you to make some PvE-isk to fund your PvP habits. Starting off with the highs, we do have Tech 2 neutron blasters. The Comet gets a bunch of bonuses to tracking speed and damage for small hybrid turrets, but it also has a pretty decent amount of tank. So we're going to make sure to pump that damage up by using the Tech 2s here. We do have a single small ghoul compact energy Nosferatu. Say that 5 times fast, goodness gracious. This is to add some newt pressure to your enemies. And with void ammo going right now, our range is about 3,200, so you do need to be fast. That's why we're running a Tech 2 afterburner. Let's just go a solid 1435. This, in addition though, to the overdrive injector system in the lows, are going to increase our speed. Let me make this a little bit clearer for y'all. I've marked the red areas here for you. These are all the DPS focus mods. We talked about the guns. We also have a magnetic field stabilizer in the lows. Get those rookie numbers up. The yellow is going to be your speed focus mods. Now the blue are the tank focus mods. We've chosen to hull tank this guy with 3 transverse bulkhead 2s in the lows, taking our hull up to almost 2k, coupled with a single damage control is going to get all those resistances up to 60%. Now we have a single armor repairer in the lows that with nanites injected are going to get you 34 HP per second. Now the final one that's a little bit harder to see, I need some more colors here, is the black stuff here. These are your utility mods. You're going to use a warp scram plus a webifier to lock down all the nerds that come on the site with you. Make sure they can't escape, can't go fast. Typically everybody's going to be running a scram or a web or both, so don't expect to be going this fast normally. It's still good for you to have all the stuff ready to go. When all said and done, you're going to be doing a solid 237 DPS because you also are going to be running Tech 2 drones. Yeah, some Hornets, throw them in there. Now you can bring a couple other kinds of drones if you would like for some different damage applications. Because my skills are primarily in the Kalzari drones, we're just going to bring the Hornet 2s. You're not going to bring a lot of ammo. Antimatter, null, and void will cover medium, far, and close. Now that F sucks. In terms of range for you, that's what you're going to use it for. But you're not going to bring a bunch of this stuff because of the cost of things is going to get really high super fast. I recommend you buy a couple of these fits. Have them in Jeddah or wherever your home station is. That way you can get back to the front lines as soon as possible. Now we're going to actually go to a system and get some Faction Warfare going. I'm going to go to my Faction Warfare window, go to the Shipcaster by right-clicking this, set destination, and then head on down. All right, y'all, so we are in space. We are currently orbiting the Shipcaster here in Caldari space. And first of all, just take a look at this thing. The lore of these are awesome. We basically combined a Triglavian technology with ours to get these to work. I love how the devs use this to kind of intertwine with things. You're going to see when you get here, you can't exactly just jump in immediately. It's actually charging up as we speak. You can see that. Look at that effect that just popped up right there. That was super fun. I love seeing that, y'all. So let's initiate launch and keep this going. Oh, look at that. Take me to the front, baby. Right out of the gate, we are officially in a low-sec area. We are in Devon, a Faction Warfare area. Gotta stay frosty now, y'all. The first thing you want to do is you want to get your solar system map out so you can set some save points. I see that this is a pretty far away station, so let's warp to that within 100. We're going to set up some save points here by pressing Control B, mid-warp, and getting ready to press the submit button. Once we're at a decent area, we're going to make a save point. Let's put it right here by those other areas. Ooh, this one's like up there a little bit too. Now, if we ever need a breather, we can come back to that safe spot and make sure people can't find us really easily. You can still get scanned down there if someone uses probes, but it's not a warpable spot. Like if you were hanging out around a planet, someone can come to that planet and then like take you out. Next thing you want to do is open up a local chat, and as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff going on. A lot of reds, a lot of purples. You can join the fleet if you would like. We're going to try this out solo, just to try to see what we can do here. Next thing you're going to do is open up your probe scanner. We have mine right here. You're going to press Alt-P to do this. If your probe scanner looks a little bit something like this, it's all kinds of crazy. It's nested with the solar system map. You're going to click this box right here, open in separate window, and then from there you can resize, do what you will. I like mine right here. Next thing you're going to do is open up your directional scanner or D-scan. Coming down here by your health bar, click on scanners, and then go to directional scanner. This is also where you can find probe scanner if you forget the command. I use Alt-D and Alt-P all the time to open, close, probe, and directional scanner. Now, we're not exactly in the site once you land. You have to go through the acceleration gate. You can fight on the accelerate gate, but it's not going to help you get any faction warfare points. You have to be inside of the site. Now we set our D-scan to 1 AU in a 360-degree angle. That way, anybody that's coming in, we're going to be able to detect them with our D-scan before they get in. Now, there's a single mob in here, and it's a state frigate. This is a Caldari frigate. So even though it's marked red, we're in a Caldari site. Don't kill your own faction mobs. Now, while I'm furiously D-scanning, I'm going to explain to you how we're going to do this site. Faction warfare is essentially king of the hill, and you need to be able to stay on this site in the circle to progress this timer that's in the center right here. You can battle anywhere inside of the site, but if you're not in that circle, the timer's not going to work. Now, if there's enemy mobs here or enemy players, that timer is going to stop going down. You'll notice my ship is orbiting this beacon right here. This beacon is actually where people are going to warp in from. We're going to sit by this beacon as people warp in, lock them up, knock them out. Now, this is not the strategy for every single ship. Different PvP ships are going to have different strategy. Some kite things, they go fast to avoid damage. Some are focused on tanking things. They're not going to dish as much damage, but they are going to take some damage. Some newt out their opponents. They're going to use energy neutralizers to get rid of their cap, essentially stopping them from doing any actions. The Comet is a combination of tank and DPS, so we're going to use this to our advantage by staying nice and close. So while you're on site, there's a couple things you're going to be keeping a sharp eye on. You're going to be furiously D-scanning, make sure that nobody's warping on top of you. If you do that alone, you're going to be able to know what's coming for you. Depending on what the ship is, you're going to leave or stay. You're also going to be checking out local, seeing who's popping through. If you notice a spike in local, get on your toes and get ready to leave. You're going to watch the timer right here. Don't just come to a site and then AFK. Enemy rats, enemy players can spawn and stop that timer and then take you out. So make sure you're paying attention there. While you're sitting here, you can also get ready to go to a different site. We see that there's a Caldari small navy right here. Since nobody's coming here, I'm feeling a little bit bold. We're going to make the circle that we're scanning a little bit larger so it encompasses this site here. And we're going to set the angle to 15 so I can see it. And then using Alt left click, we're going to focus on it and then press D-scan. We can see that nobody's there right now. So after I finish this site, it might be wise for me to go over there. Now we're going to reset our D-scan back to 1 AU in a 360-degree angle. We got this site locked down and we have our next step ready. So while we wait for this timer, let's explain how you're going to actually make ISK with the LP that you're going to get. You're going to come to your Neocom menu and go to your wallet. And in your wallet, you're going to go to the LP Corporations tab. This is going to show all the loyalty points you have across your character. And I'm going to filter it to Caldari states since we're allied with them right now. Now, the loyalty points we're going to get are going to be for one of these corporations. You can use this closest loyalty point store tab here to see how far things are and go spend your stuff. Looks like we're 2 jumps away from this state protectorate spot. There are places in HiSec you can spend your loyalty points to. Here's one now. When you're awarded loyalty points, you're going to see who gave it to you. And then from there, you're going to decide where you're going to go. All right, y'all, I'm going to let this timer finish up and then we're going to carry on. Alrighty, y'all, the site's about to pop. We were able to defend it. Not a lot of action here, and that's okay. You can see the site defended pop-up happened. We did get some loyalty points from that. You can go into your notifications and see where you got the loyalty points for. We got 97 loyalty points for the State Protectorate. All right, we made it back to Jid, and since we know we got the loyalty points from the State Protectorate, we're going to come to this closest loyalty point store tab. We're going to right-click this, set destination. We can see it's only 3 jumps away, so let's go check it out. Okay, we have navigated to the place with the loyalty points store. Let's check out what kind of goodies we can get. So the easy question is, like, how can you make money with this? Well, if you're just starting out, you can use this filter price tab. You filter to the LP you have or the ISK price range you have and go from there. Typically, you're going to make the most money with some kind of implant. I would start there. If you're a newer player, you can use this to get some implants for yourself even. So since we're flying the Comet, I would look for gun-focused implants. You type in hybrid turret in the search bar, you should see a bunch of implants that are focused around this. Make sure you get one that goes for small hybrid turrets though. The mediums and above do not affect your DPS in the Comet itself. Even the small ones that give you 1% increase in DPS can be enough to make or break when you're in a PvP situation. Another one of my favorite ways to use this is to go to this preset and go show affordable only. This is going to show you items you can buy right now. For example, if you want to make yourself a Heron Navy issue, you can buy this right now for yourself. And really, there's a lot of stuff in here. They got skill books, blueprints. It's not just implants. So while primarily you're going to use this thing to be able to make some money, you can also use this to upgrade your character. And we promised if you stayed to the end, you were going to get a way to win this ship. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bunch of these fits to give away. Every single time that I've announced we're giving away ships, members of the community will come in and give me these active fits to give to you all. Last time I said I was going to give away 5 ships, and then we ended up having over 100. Stuff was crazy. So what I'm going to say now is I'm going to give away 5 of these fully fitted ships to some lucky viewers. And one of those viewers is also going to get a scope syndication skin. Now, I'm an EVE partner. That means the developers of EVE give me skins to give to you. So in order to win the ships and the skins, all you have to do are these 3 things. First thing you have to do is go in the comments and write FW time, baby. I'm super excited for the faction warfare, y'all, and I hope to see y'all on the battlefield. Second thing you got to do is be subscribed. My bot's going to know if you're not subbed and you're going to be disqualified, even if you put the comment there. The third thing you're going to do in that same comment is put your in-game name. I got to know who to send the contract to, y'all. Y'all, the growth since EVE Havoc came out has been insane. The channel is actually blowing up right now. It's making me very happy. So make sure you subscribe for all the EVE guides. Keep that momentum going. Right after this video 2 comes out, we're going to put out a pirate faction warfare video. Even if you're an Empire pilot, you're going to want to watch that. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.